going to talk about residential site plan considerations, and these are some of the things we're going to think about. And we're talking about different orientations, so how we're going to put our building on the site, and the site means the piece of land that we're actually putting our building on. First, we need to consider the sun and what way it's coming in both the winter and the summer. As you know, here in Texas, our big concern is about the summer and how hot it's going to be and how hot the side that faces the sun will be. But in other climates, we're concerned with getting enough sun on the building during the winter. Deciduous trees are trees that have only leaves on them in the summer and not in the winter. So we would want to place those on the west side so that they're going to shade. The west is where the sun is coming in the afternoons when it's the hottest. So if we place those trees on the west side, in the summer they're going to have their leaves and shade the building, and then in the winter the leaves will have fallen and then the sun will still hit the building. So in the summer the trees are shading the building, and in the winter the leaves have fallen so the sun can still come in and hit it. Specifically at winter, when the days are the shortest, we're allowing the most sun to enter through the windows. We want to think about what our window placement is, what our tree placement is, and what orientation we have our building. Which side of the building is facing west versus which side of the building is facing north, where you're going to have the coldest side. Again, when on winter solstice, we're thinking about where are the windows so we get the most light coming in and the most heat in the winter. Prevailing winds, this is another one of your vocab words, and we can look up all this weather data everywhere we want, but prevailing winds are the directions that the winds are usually blowing in the area of the country you're talking about. Conifers, this is another vocab word. These basically refer to all of your trees that don't lose the leaves in the winter. Pine trees, fir trees, cedar trees, they look like this. We have a lot of them in this area. When we're talking about wind orientation, where the most of the wind is coming from, we might want it to hit the garage so that it's not cooling the main living part of the house down. We also can think about having windows and doors open. I know we don't open the windows and doors much here in the summer, but in other parts of the country, air conditioning is not as common as it is here. So we may want to place the windows and doors so you could open them so that crosswinds coming through can cool off different rooms. We also have a problem. If we're on a very noisy street, we may want to add landscaping to cut down on the noise. In some areas, we can put up fences like this to cut down on the noise. Some areas, they put up very large fences to do this, but in residential, we may want to do this. Which direction are we facing our windows, even for items like the sunrise, sunset, slope of the land? And then we may want to also keep existing features that are already on the property. Is there a little creek coming through? Is there a really old tree? Things that we might want to save and not knock down. So when you get a site map, which we'll do for our house and our library, you always want to look at the site map and orient everything based on the terrain you have. Where's a potential view of the valley? So this is looking for what's scenic. So we'd want to put the house somewhere where you get this nice scenic view. Here's where the winter winds are coming in. This part is too steep over here, etc. Then we're going to do landscaping, and you are going to put in some plants for your utility shed. Things to think about is native plants. Native plants are really nice because they're plants that are actually original to that area, and they are going to survive in that climate without a lot of water. You know, here for instance in Round Rock, we do get to water rationing in the summer when you can only water at certain times. Most of the western half of the country has that problem. So putting in native plants that naturally live in that area can cut down on the amount of water needed. We have to think about where utilities are currently located. Most of the utilities are on easements, which are outside the actual property line, and we have to get the water into the building, the electricity in, and such things. That's our utility lines. Ingress and egress are two of our vocab words. Ingress is going into the building. Egress is escaping from the building. We're usually just thinking about regular situations, people going in and out, but especially in commercial buildings, we need to think about in emergency situations. If there's a fire in the building, how quickly can we evacuate everyone? So we also talk about it on the property. If there was a flood or something, could we get all the cars safely off the property? And that's the end of our video.